So I am back home from my 4-day, roughly 200-mile tour of the Great Ohio Lake to River Greenway. And so I figured I'd do my usual kind of summary comments about the route as a whole, now looking back at it retrospectively. Biggest challenge in doing this route is just the lack of information available out there on the net. A quick Google will bring you to one site and pretty much one site alone with this map on it. And to this date, they have never completed that southern stretch that goes all the way down to the Ohio River. So know that the southern terminus is in Lisbon, extending up to Ashtabula on Lake Erie. Now, from a rideability perspective, probably the biggest pro of this trail is rideability. We're talking roughly 90 miles of nonstop paved surface, and you really can't say that about many other places. You have pretty much four main segments of established trail. You have the Little Beaver Greenway in the south. You have the Mill Creek Greenway, followed by the Niles Greenway, and then the largest segment is the Western Reserve Greenway in the north that runs roughly 45 of the 90 miles. Between that, you have road riding. The roads are pretty much, paved asphalt. Now, the only reason I took off any points whatsoever and didn't give rideability and surface a 10 out of 10 is that you do have a lot of hills. And when we're talking about rideability, I evaluate that as, can your average rider handle this? Is this something that's suitable for all ages, all skill levels? And the answer is no. I mean, it's an easy ride for 90% of the route, but you do have a stretch specifically along Washingtonville Road, north of Washingtonville, Ohio, where you have about probably 7 miles or so of just up and down on a backcountry road. So not going to be for everybody for sure. Scenery, I gave it a 5 out of 10. Anytime you're dealing with a route this long, you're going to have variety. And, the southern 50 miles or so I thought were very pretty. You have rolling farm fields, you have the Little Beaver Creek sitting down below the trail to look at, you have some trestles and bridges. But I found the northern 45 miles along the Western Reserve Greenway to be very boring, very monotonous. A lot of green tunnel, not much to see. Safety, I gave it a 2 out of 5 just because of the level of road riding. Again, none of the roads did I personally feel super unsafe, but I've always kind of viewed my rating threshold as like 3 out of 5 would be something that I would bring a child, but with reservations. 2 out of 5, I wouldn't bring a child on it whatsoever. And there's definitely some stretches. I'm thinking about coming back into Warren from the north on day 4, where I was definitely not in a situation where I would want to have a kid. In terms of parking, 4 out of 5, there's definitely parking kind of scattered throughout. Some places it was larger parking lots than others or more well-signed than others. Facilities, I gave it a 3 out of 5. I did not see any water on the trail whatsoever. Lots of picnic baskets, lots of covered pavilions, lots of porta-johns, but even the porta-johns were unequally spaced. And I had, certain days, I think it was day 3, where I didn't go to the bathroom all day long just because of lack of porta-johns. Wildlife, I gave it a 3 out of 5. You go past a nature reserve at kind of the northern edge of Mosquito Lake, and I saw some beautiful birds, lots of frogs out, turtles. You also go past a lot of farms, so you see a lot of farm animals, but nothing overly exotic. So I gave the wildlife rating a 3 out of 5. I think I skipped food and drink. I apologize for that. So food and drink, I also gave a 3 out of 5. You do have options on trail. I'm thinking, JR Grinder is a fantastic sandwich and ice cream shop in Canfield, Ohio, few feet off the trail, and very reasonably priced. They take cash and credit card. Unfortunately, though, they're not open on Sundays, as I found out. Anything else in Canfield, though, is a hike. Not worth it, in my opinion. I went to a place in Rock Creek, a little bit farther removed. I thought the food and service was iffy. There's a lot of options in Orwell, There's a one literally right on the trail, and then I went to Cap's Pizza, which I thought was phenomenal pizza for a value. Paid $7 there. So there's options for sure. Just nothing, over the top fantastic. No breweries or anything. And then finally, from a fun factor, I was by myself, so I think that limited the fun somewhat. The monotony of the Western Reserve Greenway limited the fun a little bit, but it was still a 4-day bike trail. My family was involved. There was camping. I had great weather. So overall, it served its purpose, and I gave this a 31 out of 50 total review. So, it checked the boxes for me. Close to Pittsburgh, inexpensive, could get in a lot of miles in a few days. So if that's your criteria, I would put the Great Ohio Lake to River Greenway on your list.